Hello and welcome once again to our joint Haitian Bridge Alliance and Welcome.us virtual event on supporting Haitian newcomers forced to flee their home. My name is Krista Kartson and I'm the Senior Director of Sponsorship Initiatives with Welcome.us, which means my job is to help share the opportunity for sponsorship with generous community members like yourself and make it easier for you to do this work. My hope is that you will leave our time together feeling inspired, informed, and equipped with the knowledge and resources you need to support you in your sponsorship journey. This webinar will be recorded and shared with registrants following the event. This is, again, a joint event brought to you by the Haitian Bridge Alliance and Welcome.us. As part of our agenda this evening, we will be introduced to each organization and their respective mission, learn more about how you can provide a path to safety for Haitian newcomers through sponsorship, and hear from our special guest, Marie Pennington, about her sponsor journey, and receive more details about what resources are available to help you in your journey. We also have allocated time for Q&A this evening, so please submit your questions through the Q&A function in the chat. We will do our best to respond in writing via the chat function or via panel interview after the presentation. And with that, it is my honor to introduce Gerline Joseph to share more about the Haitian Bridge Alliance and the situation in Haiti. Gerline is the co-founder and executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance, as well as the co-founder of the Black Immigrants Bail Fund and the Cameroon Advocacy Network. A leading human rights advocate, Gerline was named one of Politico's 2021 40 most influential people on race, politics, and policy in the United States. She has received numerous awards for her human rights leadership, including the 2021 Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Award.
Thank you so much, Krista. Welcome each and everyone for joining the Haitian Bridge Alliance and Welcome.us in our efforts to bring life-saving protection to people in Haiti and Haitians they might meet during their journey and who might currently just be searching for what we say, chercher la vie, searching for life. My name is Gerline Joseph. As my dear friend and colleague Krista mentioned, I am the co-founder and executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance. And we say, "Un pile main chay palo," many hands lighten the load. It's in this spirit that we welcome you, and we are so honored that you are joining us to see how, together, Haitian Bridge Alliance, Welcome.us, the people of the United States, each and every one of you who are currently participating. So thank you so much for joining. In our work, understanding the realities, the root causes of migration that is forcing people to flee their home in search of safety and protection. We've seen the news, we've heard the stories. Now it is time for our hearts to be activated. That is the point right now. With the possibility of people having a legal pathway, a regular pathway to come to the United States, to get protection and safety, to be able to provide for their loved ones, their children, with dignity. So we continue to push forward to make sure this happens. And we'll continue to work with you to answer your questions, to make sure what you need is available, to make sure that together we are able to support extreme needs of those who are currently seeking protection. Again, we all understand where we are right now. We've seen and we've heard, and we continue to really push into all of those different directions to make sure people get to safety. So we say thank you once again. And we are hoping with the information that you will be receiving today will just take you closer, one step closer to saying yes, to opening your heart to a person, a Haitian, a mother, a father who is in search of a sponsor. And we understand this is not an easy task, but we believe in you. We believe in us, and we believe that together we will make sure that those in need get the support that they deserve. With further ado, I will go ahead and pass it back to Kaylee.
Thank you, Gerline. It is time for our hearts to be activated. Thank you for those words, and it is so true. We're going to hear next from Denise Coma, who is a sponsor. I understand this is a video from the Haitian Bridge Alliance, and we're going to hear firsthand testimony from Denise Coma about what her family has faced in Haiti and how she was able to provide a pathway to safety for them.
Moi, c'est Denise Coma. Moi, di staff baden nan merci pour programme santé mété. Nous capable sponsor famille moi, m'ge frère moi qui entre avec nevem. Il était réellement stressful. Chaque mois, il a été l'aime pas qu'à journée, on dirait qu'il a sauté parce que nous a mouru dans la rue à gauche à droite. Il a tiré mon la caillou. Pour premier a, m'ge frère moi qui vini, m'ge nevem qui vini malgré que l'autre qui a toujours qu'il sauté, mais on dit bon Dieu merci, dit président Biden merci avec tout staff là parce qu'il était aidé nous. Il était créé programme ça pour nous être capable d'entrer dans la famille. On dit merci.
A lot of people joining us this evening may have been to Haiti on a service trip and may have friends or colleagues there. Frankly, you may be concerned for their safety, but don't know how to help. If this describes you, you're in the right place to learn more about sponsorship, which is one very tangible way that you can provide a path to safety for somebody. Before we go further, I'd like to introduce to you the CEO of Welcome.us, Nazanin Ash, to share more about what we do at Welcome.
Hi, everyone. It's so incredible to be with you this evening and to be with our extraordinary partners, Haitian Bridge Alliance. Thank you so much, Gerline, for starting us off as you did, grounded in the experience of Haitians, grounded in the experience of the Haitian Bridge Alliance, and seeking to bring safety to so many here in the United States and elsewhere. I think it's such an important place for us to start our conversation tonight, because what we're talking about is being able to be a part of solutions for people who are seeking safety and who are seeking opportunity. Here at Welcome, our job is to unleash the power and potential of Americans, all of our American communities, our diaspora communities, our service communities, our private sector, to make their contributions to welcoming people in need of safety and ensuring that they thrive. The actions of the Biden administration in creating these sponsorship pathways for populations that are experiencing crisis right now has made it possible for people like Denise to bring her family members here. It's also made it possible for so many other Americans to serve as that lifeline. We're so excited that so many friends and family have been able to bring loved ones to safety. The first part of our job is equipping and informing them and ensuring that they have what they need to be able to take action on bringing friends and family to safety. But we know there are so many in need of it who don't have a sponsor in the United States. We know that there are so many in the United States whose hearts are big, whose arms are wide, and who can serve as sponsors to bring those people to safety and have a generational impact on the lives that they lead. So we're so honored to have all of you here with us tonight. We hope you're inspired to join. We and our partners at Haitian Bridge Alliance are here to help. We're here to inspire you. We're here to tell you why you should do this work. And we're here to tell you how to do this work. And we're so, so honored that you've joined us tonight. Thank you so much.
Nazanin, that's a beautiful segue to our next video, which introduces Max Skolnick and his community, who welcomed an Afghan family through sponsorship. They didn't know this family before they welcomed them into their community, but it was certainly a transformative experience for them and certainly does have generational impact in the lives of the newcomers that they've welcomed, as well as the lives of the community. So I'd love for Brian, go ahead and play the video with Max.
We were watching the news when Kabul fell, and it really just broke our hearts. And we were trying to find something to do, and we felt really helpless. We heard about agencies in our community that were doing things for Afghan families. I contacted all of our neighbors in our block here, and a bunch of us just started phone treeing and emailing and texting each other, figuring out ways that we could support a family. We began to collect stuff and just get as much as we could. And this family over here got a couch, and this one over here got silverware, and we got a desk, and the things that we couldn't contribute ourselves, we went out and bought. We had a lot of volunteers and neighbors come on the day of the move-in, and it took us about 3 days to do it all. It was a whirlwind of community action, and we just did it. We sort of, rolled up our sleeves, and started putting all the furniture together, putting carpets down, buying food, and just really trying to be as present and as unobtrusive as possible to a family that was clearly in shock.
I helped build the chairs. I also gave them my bike. It makes me feel good to help other families and know I'm doing it for a good reason and a good cause. So it feels like I'm actually part of something very, very big.
When we finally kind of were able to settle down and hear their stories, and they showed us pictures of what their home used to look like back in Afghanistan and why this was so important to them, it really hit home of what an incredible relationship this was that we had formed between our families here in DC and a family that had been flung halfway across the world into these entirely new circumstances. And I think that to me was just the heart of it, the core of it, was how can we share this love, this sense of home, this sense of community with a family that is suffering such deep trauma.
So in that video, Max shared a bit about he was able to rally his friends and neighbors to help Afghan newcomers. In much the same way, we now have an opportunity to similarly welcome Haitian newcomers through sponsorship. We at Welcome.us often describe sponsorship as being a friend. As you sponsor, you welcome a newcomer into your community and help them with anything that you would a friend who hasn't lived in your area before. You pick them up from the airport, get them housing, find them a job, enroll the children in school, and so on. But rather than describing it to you, I'd like to introduce you to a special guest this evening, Marie Pennington, who recently welcomed a 21-year-old woman from Haiti and has also submitted applications for a couple others seeking her support as well. Marie came to the United States from Haiti when she was 21 years old herself, and later went on to become a corporate lawyer in New York City. She and her husband raised 7 beautiful children and now have 8 grandchildren, and she is grateful to have had a blessed life. Throughout her time in the United States, Marie has maintained connections with Haiti and has looked for ways to give back. Marie has been moved by the immense outpouring of support she's received from her community, and she has already recruited 3 of her friends to begin the process of sponsorship. Marie, it is my pleasure to introduce you this evening, and thank you so much for spending time with us. I'd love to learn more about what ultimately made you decide to go through the sponsorship process.
Thank you so much for this great introduction and for having me tonight. And I also thank the Haitian Bridge Alliance and Welcome.us for putting together this wonderful program. And I thank everyone for joining us. So in answer to your question, what motivated me to become a sponsor is really the idea that I'm my brother's keeper. And I also tried to put myself in people's shoes. And because I came from Haiti, it wasn't so difficult for me to imagine myself in those circumstances. And I know that if I was in that situation, I would want someone to reach out and help me. When I always kept up with Haiti, and what I saw over the past couple of years has been really different from anything that I had seen before. I started to see even very wealthy Haitians, who had all the comforts at home leave their home and come over here to the US just to take a break, just to relax and de-stress. That made me think about those people who couldn't leave and what their situation was. So when the program was announced, I saw it as a chance for me to really do something more than just donate money. And of course, I had some concerns like everybody else. So I did the research instead of listening to all the misinformation that's out there. And I tried to become familiar with what my obligations were and whether I would be able to fulfill them, and the different types of sponsorships and the different types of beneficiaries that you could sponsor. So I got to a place where I was comfortable and I decided to jump in.
Marie, thank you so much for sharing that from your own personal experience. Can you share more about how did you decide who was a right fit for you and who you were comfortable sponsoring?
Well, I kind of went in slowly. So the first person I decided to sponsor is a relative. I'd never met her. She was born long after I had left Haiti, but I had met her dad a couple of times, didn't really know him that well. And so I decided to go with her at first. She arrived here about a month ago, a little over a month ago, and just going to the airport, waiting for her for 3 hours while she was being processed, and finally seeing her emerge from customs. And you could see she was exhausted. She's a very young woman, and she had been through a lot. She was exhausted, but she was also excited. She was nervous, but also relieved to be out. And I know that her dad was in Haiti waiting to hear. So the first thing I did was snap a selfie and WhatsApp it to her dad back home. And I knew, it was such a great feeling to know that I was going to be able to make a difference in this young lady's life, even if it's just for 2 years. It will mean a lot to her. And I decided I was going to do my best to make the most of the time that she has with me. And so far, it has been wonderful.
I'm so glad to hear that, Marie. Thank you. Can you tell us more about how you came to understand your role as a sponsor and what your responsibilities look like?
My responsibilities as a sponsor, I think will vary depending on the beneficiary. For this young lady who came, she's 21 years old and she doesn't speak much English. I think I will have a lot more. I will be a lot more involved with her. And I knew that going in. So I got her registered for school. Earlier today, I took her to immigration to process her biometrics to get her work permit. I helped her secure a job that starts in June. What else? I mean, I even shopped for clothes and toiletries before she got here. I had to teach her how to cross the street, how to shop at the grocery store. It's also been fun. She goes everywhere with me. We took her to the gym and she had never been to a gym before. So she's taking videos, selfies to share with her friends back home. And I'm just praying that she doesn't break her neck. So it has been really great, fun, but also it's a lot of responsibility. It's something I took on. And but she has stepped up to the plate. She's very grateful and very gracious. She learned faster than I thought she would. Certain things. She can cook on the stove at my house. She's someone who got on an elevator for the first time when we got to my high rise. And now she can take the elevator, go down to the pool, to the beach, and she comes back up and she does everything for herself. I'm leaving on a short vacation tomorrow and I'm leaving her here by herself because I'm confident that she can handle it. She knows how to cross the street. She knows the signs. So she's been doing well. So it's a lot of responsibility, but something that I knew. The other people I'm sponsoring will be different because I know myself and I know I couldn't do this for many people. So I selected people who speak some English, people who have family and friends who can help them, even though they may not qualify to sponsor them. They may not have the financial means or the immigration status to be a sponsor, but they are willing to really pick up that person and help guide them. And there are also people who are educated. One of them has lived here in the past, went to college in the US in the past. So she is familiar with the country, and she will be able to hit the ground running, so to speak, and do things for herself. So my responsibilities vary from beneficiary to beneficiary.
Well, thank you, Marie, so much for sharing your valuable personal experiences with us, with the newcomer that you've welcomed, this young lady who is now, we want to celebrate alongside you that she got this job that you helped her with and has been just growing and learning so much just in the month that you've welcomed her into your community. And we're so thankful for the others that are also in process. We look forward to hearing from you more a bit later in the Q&A section. So for those who have questions for Marie, I just want to remind you to please drop those questions in the chat, and we'd love to get to those a little bit later. But next, I'd like to speak more to this process for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, and why is sponsorship even possible right now? So sponsorship is made possible now through a Department of Homeland Security program called humanitarian parole, by which eligible supporters, such as American citizens and permanent residents, can apply to the U.S. government on behalf of an eligible person seeking safety. The application is free and it is called an I-134A form. Those accepted will be granted humanitarian parole here in the United States for 2 years. Recognizing that Haitians arrive to the United States through this pathway are fleeing their homes and may need extra support, Haitians entering the U.S. are eligible for any benefits that refugees would be entitled to, like Medicaid, SNAP or food assistance, TANF, and housing and cash assistance from resettlement agencies. And in order to be a sponsor, you'll need to first connect with someone who you want to sponsor. So Marie, the first person that she sponsored, knew that individual, and then subsequently she didn't know the next few couple people that she sponsored. And you may or may not know someone that you want to sponsor. If you don't, Welcome.us has this resource or platform called Welcome Connect. It's an online portal to help you connect with people who are seeking your support. Right now, there are healthcare workers, educators, mothers and fathers, grandparents, and families on Welcome Connect. They have profiles there. You can chat with them and to see if they'd be a good fit for you and your community. Go on to Welcome Connect and you can create a profile. You receive training and you can start chatting with Haitians who are seeking your support. And if anything has piqued your interest this evening about sponsorship, I want to encourage you just to sign up. Go on the platform, sign up. I'll ask my colleague to drop a link in the chat. Start speaking with someone who may be seeking your support. You're not making a commitment if you create a profile and start speaking with someone, but it could be the beginning of a lifelong friendship. So I really encourage you to start just by doing that. We also have resources for you as you begin your journey, as you connect with someone and see, like Marie said, she had certain criteria. She wanted to meet with someone who had some English skills and there were certain criteria she looked at. You can do the same. Just start chatting with someone, and as you feel comfortable and match with somebody that is a good fit for your community and your resources, we have at Welcome.us an abundance of resources for you to understand and navigate the journey. And that's, like I mentioned at the top of the hour, that's something that we really keenly want to do to help support you. And so I'm dropping again in the chat, we've got a few resources to complete the I-134A form, how to mobilize your community to join in your sponsorship journey. We have a Facebook group community for sponsors where you can ask questions and post from your own personal experiences like Marie just shared. All of this will be shared in a follow-up email, but I wanted to allocate this time to explain the resources that are available, to share them. You'll see on screen right now, this is what it's going to look like for you to access our FAQs and other documents. That will be helpful resources for you to mobilize your community and get started in your journey. So I realized that was a lot of information. I'd love at this point now to open it up for questions. And our first question is actually for Marie. So thankful that you're here with us. This person is asking more about how did you mobilize your community to welcome this young lady and others in your community. Is a big responsibility as one sponsor, but as we heard from Gerline, many hands make light work, and we understand that your community has been so generous in supporting you as well.
Yes, even before she came, I reached out to friends, and as you know, I have a very big immediate family. All our children were so excited to welcome her and to help. They donated money, clothing. She had the money that I applied for her work permit was part of the money that people donated to her. And she currently has hundreds that she has to, as spending money until she starts working, because other people have just been sending money to me that I could give to her even before she arrived here. So I have going to help her with the job, just reach out to me and said, you know what, this is what she's going to have a grandchild and she's looking for a mother's helper. And she said that would be a perfect job for her. She won't be responsible for the baby, but she will be there and help. And that will improve her English also. What do you think? So people have been really going out of their way to help.
That's so encouraging to hear, Marie. I just see it. The next question says, I live in New Hampshire. Can I sponsor someone that's going to live in Miami? And the answer is yes, you can. And that answer is also in our FAQs and resource documents. But essentially, you can sponsor someone and they can live in your community. You could welcome them into your community, but it also may be that they already have a family or a community somewhere else, like in Miami, and you can still be that sponsor and that pathway to safety. It will look different than it did for Max and for Marie, but it is entirely possible for you to do that. At this point, we've got a question more about the work of Haitian Bridge Alliance for Gerline. Just if you care to share more about your work as an advocacy organization, as a support organization, and what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And thank you for those questions. Thank you for sharing, my dear sister Marie. Again, for each and every one of you who have joined. Before I answer that, I also want to explain to a lot of people that this is geared toward the sponsors. And we do understand that we have some folks on here who might be looking to be sponsored. We might have some beneficiaries looking for help. This webinar is specifically us trying to get people to sponsor you. So we are working really hard to find people who can come and join us in our effort to find sponsors. So if you are on here right now and you are someone who's in Haiti or in Chile or somewhere else looking for sponsor, we just want to tell you, we hear you, we see you, we understand your needs. That is why we are fighting to find solutions, to find sponsors for you. With that being said, who we are at the Haitian Bridge Alliance, we are the only Black-led Haitian women-led organization that is working at the US-Mexico border to address the issues of migration, people in mobility, and with a focus on people of African descent from Haiti, Jamaica, Garifuna people within South and Central America, and people coming from all the different countries of Africa. On the Mexico side, we provide humanitarian assistance. On the US side, we provide legal support. We have a legal team, a legal department. We have a humanitarian department that is led by the amazing Diane Gustave on the call. We have a hotline that is being guided and led by our amazing Daniel on the call. We are here for you, fighting not only with providing the services, but organizing heavy policy and making sure that we push the government to change the way they welcome people, that we center the lives of those searching for asylum, whether they are fleeing the war in Ukraine, extreme conditions in Haiti, or dictatorship across South and Latin America. So as we say, we went to the borderland for Haitians and we stayed for everyone. So we are here fighting for you every single day. And that is why we partner with Welcome.us to make sure we center the lives of Haitians and asking people to please open your heart, open your home to welcome someone whose life will be changed, whose community will be changed because of your act of compassion and love. So this is who we are at the Haitian Bridge Alliance. We are love in action. We are on the ground at the border, and we are in front of the White House pushing to get the right solution for all people.
Geraldine, thank you. We are so thankful for our partnership with Haitian Bridge Alliance and for your work. We are so thankful to be partnered in this effort, specifically to engage with communities, to welcome Haitians. There's a lot of work that you're taking on. Love in action is big. It's a big work. It's a big load. Again, we've said it a couple times already. Many hands make light work. If you could welcome one person, one family into your community, you are one of the many hands that are lightening this load and that are being love in action. And with that, we've got another question that came in from someone who says, I'm exploring the opportunity to sponsor with my small group from church. Can we sponsor as a church or as an organization? And I'd like to ask Nazanin this question.
You absolutely can, and we'd be so excited to help you do that. Sponsoring as an organization, sponsoring with a group is some of the most effective and joyful ways to do this work. As you're hearing from Marie, you know, the people who come forward to help, the people who come forward to build community around newcomers that we're welcoming here in the United States make all the difference in their lives and make all the difference in making the load lighter for those who have opened their hearts and arms to welcome. So you absolutely can, and you can apply as a group on the USCIS application. And when you're doing that, it means you can submit a letter on behalf of your organization that can help with meeting the financial obligations for the sponsorship application.
Thank you, Nazanin. And I saw another similar question come through about, I'm interested in sponsorship, but I might not have the financial means to be approved as a sponsor. And so that's one solution. You can sponsor as an organization. We have also fundraising resources that you can use. You can get some friends together. As Nazanin said, sponsoring in a community is really the best form of sponsorship, because it is going to take a community to welcome and help support these new neighbors. So we just recommend that you use those resources and sponsor as part of a group. Let's see, turning over to another question coming in. How long does the sponsorship process normally take? And if Nazanin could answer that one as well.
The sponsorship application approval process has been taking somewhere along the lines of 6 to 8 weeks. The sponsorship period is for 2 years. And the expectation really is that as a sponsor, you're assisting someone to become self-sufficient. You're helping them resettle in their new community. You're connecting them with jobs and other supports, as Marie has described, and you're assisting them with being able to be independent newcomers on the way to building a new life in the United States.
Great, Nazanin, thank you so much for sharing that. And we have another question about how are the sponsorship programs with USCIS different from refugee resettlement? As I mentioned, Haitians coming to the United States through this humanitarian parole pathway are eligible to apply for many of the benefits that refugees do apply for, like Medicaid and SNAP assistance and cash assistance. But there is a distinct difference between the two pathways. Refugee resettlement is a long, protracted, and complex process that can take years and even decades. There are over 27 million refugees in the world, only 1% of whom will ever become eligible for resettlement in a country. To become eligible for refugee resettlement, individuals and families must be outside of their home country, meet the international definition of a refugee, must be determined to be eligible for resettlement by the United Nations, and apply to be resettled. USCIS is part of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and the USCIS sponsorship programs, or the Humanitarian Parole Program, provides a fast and easy entry process into the United States. In 2022, close to 100,000 Ukrainians found their path to safety through the Uniting for Ukraine parole pathway, which is similar to the one we're discussing this evening. These USCIS sponsorship programs do not rely on UN HCR or UN agencies or national and local resettlement agencies. Instead, they rely on people like you who are willing to sponsor somebody. That's why it's so important for sponsors to participate in this program. For individuals and families seeking safety through humanitarian parole, a sponsor to the United States is required. And I would add, as we hear from Marie tonight, from Gerline, and from Nazanin, I want to stress the importance and the impact that you as a sponsor welcoming someone whom you do not know into your community, what a life-changing event that is for them and for you, for the communities that I speak with and the sponsors that I speak with. Just remark consistently how much they've been positively affected by welcoming a newcomer, and how they've seen their community through new eyes and have built new friendships with newcomers, but also with their existing neighbors, with their new neighbors and with their old neighbors, because this effort really brings people together. It has a way of restoring community and creating that change and creating that sense of unity as we rally around and welcome people into our communities who just need support and are looking for friendship. So Marie, again, I'd love to point it back to you and hear more about your how you're preparing, or how did you prepare? You talked about welcoming this young lady at the airport. How else did you prepare yourself, your community, to welcome this young lady and then the others that you're going to be welcoming soon?
I'm sorry, you froze for a bit. What is the question? What did I do to prepare?
Yes, how did you prepare for the arrival of this young lady and the others that you'll be welcoming?
For the one who's currently here, I had to do much more preparation because, as I said, she was going to be coming. You know, I had to go pick her up, welcome her, guide her, take her around, do everything basically for her. So I just did like I would any other guest. Made sure I had a comfortable room for her to stay, that she would be, you know, that I would be ready to really support her emotional needs. she's younger than my youngest child, who's currently in grad school. So it was, almost kind of like being a mom again, asking her every day how she's feeling and, is she homesick? And she tells me she misses the people, but not the conditions. So I had to prepare myself for all of that. Fortunately, she's such a lovely young woman. She has made the adjustment very easy for both of us. The other people I'm sponsoring will not be staying in my home. So it's really just applying to be the person financially responsible if they need me to do that. But they will be going to their relatives or friends. And, I really don't have to do much. I will be here as a sounding board, someone that, they talk to me, they reach out to me from time to time just to, check in. And I think I'll be a friend to them. I'll be a mentor if they need one. They're a lot younger than I am. So, but I don't really have to do as much preparation as I did for this current person.
Thank you, Maureen. We've got another question for you. Someone wrote in asking if someone doesn't speak English, would it be a problem? Maybe the sponsor doesn't speak Haitian Creole.
Is that for me?
Yeah, how might you answer that from your experience?
Well, my husband doesn't speak Haitian Creole. And he has been able to communicate with her, and she speaks very, very little English. I think it depends on the age of she spoke very little English when she came in. Now she's already picking it up. So I think, if it's young people tend to learn new languages faster. So, if you're going to bring a 50-something-year-old, it probably may take a little longer for them to adjust and to learn the language, and you have to be prepared for that, to give them that support. Maybe find someone who can translate. There's Google Translate. There's all kinds of ways to do things. It was not an issue for me because I'm fluent in Haitian Creole. The other people I'm sponsoring speak English. What I've done with her is, explain to her, this is the way to get along in this country is to really speak English. So you have to do the best that you can and enroll them in English classes as soon as possible. She started within a week taking English classes. And I told her she loves texting. And I said, I'm not texting with you in Creole. You have to do it in English. And sometimes she will say, what does it mean, Auntie, when I say something to her? She'll learn how to say, what does it mean? And since I speak Creole, I'll say it to her in Creole then. Or I'll say, you translate it on your phone and tell me what you think it means. So there are ways around it, but I do think it might be a little bit more challenging if I didn't speak the language. My husband communicates with her. And, just a few minutes ago, before I started the call, he came in and he said, oh, I think she's looking for you, because I was in here getting ready for the call. He said, I think she told me she's looking for you, but I'm not 100% sure. So, she knows how to say thank you to my husband. Like, he took her grocery shopping and she was like, thank you so much for helping, So they find ways to communicate with you and you find ways to communicate with them. And they improve pretty quickly, some of them.
That's so lovely to hear. Thank you, Marie. I want to add to that our Welcome Connect platform does have live Google translation, so you can speak and chat with someone and both of you will understand in your own language because that's embedded. And then with technology these days, as you mentioned, there's so many resources and it could be, just communicating in other ways and then building that English language and helping being a friend to a newcomer by learning some of their language and also sharing English language skills as well. So really appreciate you sharing that, Marie. But we are at time, so I would love to share more about what next steps you can take. Thankful that you've all shared your questions, and I hope that we've answered them well. But also, you'll be receiving an email with a recording of this webinar today, so please keep an eye out for that. Please share it widely among your community to help them inform their interest and and curiosity about sponsorship. You will receive, and also included in that email, you will receive many resources, links to the USCIS website, resources that we have in that sponsor hub that I shared about. You will receive a survey link for us to learn more about how we can best support you. And you will also receive a link about how you can join our sponsor Facebook group as well. So I want to give a big thanks to Gerline Joseph, Nazanin Ash, and Marie Pennington for sharing their time and wisdom with us this evening. Thank you for joining us. I hope you'll commit to taking that next step that's right for you. And it is the end of our time together, but the beginning of your sponsor journey. So thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.